Hey guys, Nekrage here again, doing a protection skill tree video. It's also known as defense in the English or Europe version. It is your tank tree, and it's got some viable stuff for PvP, whether you want to tank or not. Some good survivability stuff. I got my shield equipped, so I can show you some of these abilities. First ability is Shield Strike. Does some damage and stuns the target. Requires you wear a shield. Shield Slam, she's stunned, did some damage. Second ability is Vitality. It increases your health a lot if you have one of the passives that affects it. I'll show you that in a bit. But put that up, increases your max health a lot. The third ability is Suppression. It'll do damage and silence the target and help you build up a lot more threat for PvE. So boom, now she's silenced. She can't cast anything. The first and third ability work in tandem to create a knockdown, and you can also use the will tree for protection. It works very, very well. You put up the energy shield to help you reduce spell damage. It also works in tandem with the first and third ability to increase its damage. So you do a lot more damage with these two abilities if you pop energy shield first. So I'm going to show you how they work together in 1 second. Okay, so shield strike, shield bash, boom. Now she gets knocked down. Does some nice crowd control. The fourth ability requires you to build up some rage stacks. To build that up, you need to have the vitality buff and or the Whisper of Life buff. If you have both, it will help you build up double the amount of rage. I'll go over this ability right now, this self buff, just because it'll help me build up some rage with it on. It helps you just increase your health regen in and out of combat. So keep in mind, these are two self buffs, Vitality and Whisper of Life. Now as you see, I'm getting hit. My rage is building up to a maximum of 3,000. That's based off the amount of damage you take, so the harder you get hit, the more rage stacks will build up. So I'm about to hit max. Okay, 3,000. So now I'm going to use an ability called Scream of Pain. It puts the exhaustion debuff on enemies, which will slow their movement, attack, and casting speed, and reduce the amount of healing they're going to receive. And it's going to do 50% of your rage in damage. So, boom. Obviously that was reduced by her magical resistance and all that, so it does a little bit less damage, but you can buff it with the will tree again. An Iron Will, the immunity to stun from will. It can buff it a lot. You can do a lot of surprise burst damage out of nowhere to people. The sixth ability also requires rage. I'm getting a little bit of rage right now. Okay, I got max rage now. This sixth ability is Scream of Life. It restores health based off the amount of rage you have. That also works with Iron Will. Now keep in mind, both these abilities use rage. You can only really use one, then you have to wait a little bit to build up the rage again to use the other one. You can use it right away if you want, but it's going to be crap. It's not going to do much damage or much healing. But if you have Vitality and Whisper of Life, you gain rage quick. So you can do a surprise burst damage and then a heal to yourself pretty quickly. Like 3 seconds later, you'll take enough damage to be close to 3,000 rage, and then it'll be worth popping. Next ability is Blockade. It is the backbone of the tank tree for PvE. It works well in PvP as well, but PvE you need it. Increases your chance to block a lot, and it'll reduce your movement speed a little bit. But it'll increase your attack speed by 6% every time you're struck. 5 times, up to 5 times every time you're struck. So 30% increased attack speed, and it is noticeable. It is a noticeable attack speed increase, and keep in mind, attack speed also affects your global cooldown. So attack speed is very, very important for people who have a lot of spammable abilities, like an assault tree user or a finesse tree user. You also cannot be knocked down, which is great for PvP. So I'm gonna pop this now. She's gonna try to melee me, and you're gonna see I'm gonna have a high chance to block. She missed that one. It is a parry, but yeah, as you can see, I'm starting to get this attack speed buff. That's increasing my attack speed, and there was a block, but you can see my attack speed is pretty damn high. But as soon as the buff wears off, I'm back to normal attack speed. Now you'll see I'll attack a little slower. Now this is just normal attacks. It's not actually any abilities. So, Blockade also has a a nice combo with Will. Again, there's a lot of stuff that combos with Will in the defense tree. You pop the immunity to Disarm and Silence, and then you pop Blockade, and you'll get a nice boost to magical protection. This could actually be popped in the opposite order, and you would still receive the same exact bonus. Because on the Indomitable, which is the immunity to Disarm and Silence, it also states that you'll get a magical defense buff if Blockade is already popped. So you can do it in reverse order, because you might not want to pop your immunity to Silence and Disarm right away. Maybe you want to Blockade first, or maybe you want to do it the other way first. Either way, it works. Anyway, Hammer of Wrath. Hammer of Wrath is a ranged ability. It does spell damage right now. It is being changed to do physical damage, because people with protection usually do have physical. Not always. But it's being changed to do physical damage instead of magical damage, so it builds up its damage based off your physical stuff. So you hurl a hammer, and if the enemy does not move, it'll hit them directly. But if they move around too much, it's going to be hard to hit. I'm gonna throw the hammer now. It's gonna hit the person, and it's gonna knock them down and do some damage. So as long as they don't move, boom, it'll hit them, and it actually didn't knock her down. It's supposed to, but that's one thing I was gonna discuss with this ability. It sucks. I know it seems cool. It seems like you might want to use it, but in PvP, it is horrendous. It doesn't work the way it's supposed to. It doesn't knock down all the time, and if an enemy takes like a single step, it's not gonna count as a direct hit. It'll still do the damage, but it will not knock them down. It's pretty, I don't want to say buggy, because it's almost as if it's intentional. It just kind of sucks. I mean, she didn't even move and it didn't knock her down. So that might be a bug, but it's pretty bad. Let's try one last time on this. Hammer of Wrath. Like, you should be able to move no problem and throw it. There you go. That one knocked the enemy down. But I notice if the terrain is a little uneven, kind of like this, and you have like a little bit of a hill in between you or something, never gets a direct hit. So it's kind of garbage. But anyway, next ability. It's an AoE taunt. It's only used for PvE. It just outputs a lot of threat and forces enemies to attack you for 4 seconds. It's got a good combo with Will as well. You put an Iron Will first to increase your threat level. It makes you immune to stuns. So you're going up against a boss, for instance, you pop Iron Will, you use Scream of Pain, which also taunts the target, does increased damage for even more threat, and then you use Scream of Taunt. As you can see at the bottom, if the target is already taunted, the maximum value of threat is applied. In addition, you already have Iron Will on, so threat level's doubled. It doubles the maximum value. It is a lot. If you do a good combo, you can hold threat on a boss, no problem. Next ability is Force Field. This is great in PvP. It'll help set up a lot of kills for your team. Maybe you got Stealth in your tree, or Blink from Will. You blink onto some enemies that are maybe unsuspecting or something. So I blink forward onto enemies, I use my AoE pull in from Will, and then I pop Force Field. Now me and the enemies are stuck in here. They can get out if they glide and boost themselves out. They can get out. But if they don't, they're stuck in there. One of the good things about it, though, is if you keep sustained damage on the enemy, they cannot escape, because their glider will break before they can get out. As you can see, I just did that. She tried to escape, and I whacked the shit out of her, and she was unable to get out. You could also have your teammates fly in like I did. So you could be like, yo, guys, I'm going forward. I'm going to blink. Here we go. Blink, pull, shield up. Now your teammates will fly in to assist you, and you just let them know beforehand to get their gliders ready and start gliding. And now it's you trapped all the enemies. They can't escape. You have your teammates in there. They're dropping some heals for you. They're dropping AoEs. They can't run out of it. And it's a good combo. Last ability is Invincible. Say you're getting single targeted because you're an initiator. You're a tank. You're usually up there first. And you're getting targeted. And you're getting your ass kicked. You're about to die. You pop Invincible. Now, nobody can touch you. There is nothing in the game that can stop this. Nobody can do anything. If you move, it'll stop. But you can't act. You can't attack, but no one can touch you. But guess what? You can receive heals. So it'll give you time for your team to be like, yo, let's heal him up, quick. Pop the Invincible, get healed up to full, cancel it, and start kicking some ass again. So, very useful in PvP. On to the passives. When you block, it increases your chance to block by 12% for 9 seconds. And this can stay up forever. In PvE, it stays up forever. So it works well with, there you go, I blocked, it popped up. Now my chance to block's even further increased. It works well with Blockade, because you're Blockade increases your chance to block. There you go, blocked. And now it's even further increased chance to block because of this. So you see I get a lot of blocks right now. So it works very well. Next ability is just procced. Next passive. You saw me get a stun on the enemy. Whenever I block, it'll stun the enemy. Right now she's immune to stuns because I stunned her so much from it. Yeah, when you block, it'll automatically stun an enemy for 1 second. I hate it because of the reason you just saw. It applies very quickly to apply an immunity to stuns to a player. And, you know, they're 3 1-second stuns real quick, just boom, 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 and all of a sudden they're immune. Why would you want that ability when you could be stunning someone for 2 to 3 seconds with an ability instead? I personally think it's a waste, and it's terrible. Third ability is Arrow Blockade. Every time you block a range attack, I'll put up Blockade in 1 second to increase it. There you go. Every time you block a ranged attack, your chance to block it is increased by 12%. It stacks up to 3 times. That is a 36% chance to block, and it lasts for a minute. As you can see, I am blocking like a friggin' beast right now. So I got Blockade up, which is a 38% chance, and then I got the 36% chance from the Arrow Blockade passive. What is that? That's what, 74% chance to block? Don't do my math. Don't check it. 74% chance to block, and then you got, I don't know, maybe an innate 10% chance to block based off your shield and all your stats. It's insane. You'd be like over an 80% chance to block. You'll block a lot of attacks, and it's good. Fourth passive is Iron Skin. You gain physical and magical defense. If you go to the character window, you see your physical protection and your magical defense. Don't look at will. That's not translated properly. So physical protection, magical protection. This is a percentage of reduced physical damage. Someone hits you for 1,000, 430 damage of that is coming off. You're only going to take the 670. Well, a little bit less than that because 0.36, but whatever. You get the point. Works with will as well. Take 1,000 damage. It's gonna. Well, you're only going to take 800. So that's what that is, and it's a lot. As you can see, I'm in some okay gear. I haven't really been gearing this character out too well. I'm in okay gear, and it's 700. It's a large amount. I only got 4,000, so I'd be at what, 3,300 without it, and the will would be next to nothing. I'd be almost at like 700 resistance. I shouldn't even call it will. That's not correct. And it's good. It also, for PvE, also increases your threat generation. In patch 1.0, this is getting swapped into 2 different talents. You're going to have the 700 magical and physical defense, and then in the next talent is going to be 50% threat generation increase. Very good. And I'm glad they separated them, because if somebody wants this talent for PvE and they're, I don't know, an archer or a caster or something, they don't want that. You don't want to be outputting more threat, but you want the defense. But in patch 1.0, you're able to get the defense without adding so much extra threat to your character. So, it's a good change. The last, and certainly not least, passive that everybody wants when they pick the defense tree is 4% more health, reduces the knockbacks and stun effect duration by 20%, Whisper of Life is increased by 30%, and increased health from Vitality is increased by 20%. Remember, Vitality is the buff for your self buff for increased health. When you actually pop it, you'll see it say combo effect. They're talking about the combo from this. 20% more health from Vitality. In addition to the 20%, you also get the 4% increased health just from the talent itself. And Whisper of Life gives you 33% more health regen. As you can see, another combo. At the bottom of that, you can actually see recovery rate increased by 33%, and recovery rate increased health by 20%. That's wording is terrible, but in English version, that should be different. Yeah, that's it for the defense tree. Your protection defense tree, whatever you want to call it. Thanks for watching, as always. Feel free to subscribe and check out our guild website. I am the guild leader of the Oran'Thul. We are hardcore Archeage guild in the US version. Sorry, EU players. We are in the US version of Archeage. We're hardcore Archeage guild, but we welcome casual players as well. So, don't be scared. You're welcome to apply, and hopefully I see you in our Teamspeak server. Thanks for watching.